This is going to change how you see the word manifestation. Hi everyone, we are back. I've just come back from my little Turkish bakery down the road. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's called Maya. I live in Manchester somewhere, and it's literally, I feel like I actually did manifest this bakery. I mean, of course I did, because it's in my awareness, but it literally appeared out of nowhere down a little alleyway, and I had no idea it existed until like 2 weeks ago. And it's literally down a random alley, and it is the cutest little bakery, and does the best coffee. So I've literally just come back from there. Anyway, this video is about, we're going to be talking about the actual word manifest today, and hopefully this can help you to reframe the way that you see what you're doing when you consciously create something. So as I've said before, words themselves don't actually matter, and they don't mean anything unless you say they do. And so we're not talking about the terms specifically. You can call manifestation whatever the hell you like, as long as you understand what it is that is actually going on in reality creation. But I thought it was interesting today to actually hone in on the definition of the word manifest, because I think sometimes, especially in the later years that we've perceived recently, more people became aware that they can create their reality and that they have like a say in it, and that's kind of a good thing that more people are aware of that. Again, guys, we're speaking of the illusion, because there are no other people, there's just you. But the word manifest gets chucked about on the daily, and I feel like not many people actually understand what it means. So here we go. Now, first off, we're going to address the Bible. I am not religious. I didn't grow up religious or anything like that, so I can't say that I've like read the whole Bible, but I am obviously aware of certain scriptures relating to spirituality and manifestation that have come into my awareness over the years. But it is interesting to note that whenever manifestation or manifest is mentioned in the Bible, it is mentioned as God revealing himself. Now, obviously, God isn't an entity or a person. It is literally you, what you are. But it is God revealing itself. So it's not saying that God isn't there until you perceive him or it in the Bible. It's referring to the fact that God is always present, but the manifestation is when he or it reveals himself, itself to you. And obviously with manifestation, we know that your internal imagined world is reality, and what you experience as your external or 3D reality, I feel like this is going to get so annoying, as your 3D reality is a reflection of what is already manifest and what you have already accepted as your truth. So manifestation then is the act of sensing and perceiving with your senses that which is already true. That's what it says in the Bible. There's also a lot of other references in the Bible about manifestation and making things seen. But even in the frickin' dictionary, right, there's a few different explanations, and I was looking through them, and there's even a new kind of explanation as to the word manifest that's been put in recently, which is kind of irritating in the sense that it references, it is the likelihood of making something happen after you imagine it. And that's just so fucking fluffy to me. I'm like, oh my God, we've actually taken people's, like, that there are any incorrect ones, but people's warped perceptions of their ego trying to manifest, and we've put that in the dictionary. Anyway, the actual, prior to this, the definition of manifestation has a few, but it is literally making the unseen seen, and also perceiving something with your senses. Perceiving, and it says specifically sight, right? So it's referring to the fact that manifestation is the point where you actually perceive with your senses something that is already there. Now, isn't that crazy? Because that's exactly what we're all freaking saying when we talk about reality design or conscious creation. It isn't the fact that you are creating something from scratch. Nothing is being created or moulded right in front of you. It is literally the process wherein the thing or the desire or the experience that you have accepted as truth within becomes apparent to your senses. So you can use the word manifestation, but it's using it in the sense of you understanding what it is, right? And also, I think the opposite sometimes happens, where you'll even see other reality design coaches being like, you're not actually manifesting anything. Well, you are, because it's the point where you feel like you receive your manifestation externally. So the act of manifestation is the point when your mirror reality actually reflects your accepted truth. That is actually manifestation. Now, conscious creation is the process that happens, you would say, prior to that, if you're looking at it in a linear way, but it is all instantaneous, is the acceptance of your truth in the only reality that actually exists, which is internally. That is the conscious creation part of it. You are consciously deciding and saying, as source, this is my truth now. This is the reality I select. This is just what it is. That's the truth I accept. That is the conscious creation part of it. The reality design part of it is saying, yes, this is my truth now. And the manifestation part of it is receiving or the point at which that is reflected back to you in your 3D. So again, it doesn't freaking matter what words you want to use to describe it, as long as you know what is actually happening in your reality. Everything is already created. You already have it all. You already are it all, because you are the one and only creator, period. Not just of your reality, but of reality itself, period. You are the creator, and therefore everything is already created and already manifest. But it is the point at which those desires are unveiled to your senses. Because I feel like sometimes when you're so identified with the human ego part of yourself, you think that when you're being that character, if I can't see it or perceive it or sense it, it doesn't exist. But that also doesn't make any freaking sense, because you know, for example, I'm sat here, I know that there are trees over the road from my house. Just because I can't sense or perceive them right now doesn't mean that they're not there, or I don't know that they're there. Like, I know they're there without them having to be perceived by my senses. So why then, when it comes to things that we're wanting to desire, do we constantly deny the fact that we actually have them just because they're not literally being perceived by your senses? Like, your senses are just so fucking inadequate anyway to perceive your reality. Like, stop identifying so much with your senses, with the 3D, with all of this. It's not like don't participate in it, but it's just knowing that there are things that exist outside of this, and it all comes down again to who you are identified with being. When you're identified as consciousness, as source, knowing that you're having this experience and knowing that you are not the ego, this little character that you're playing, you're not really bothered by what it is perceiving at any given moment, because you can perceive it all, you know it all, and you know that you've already received it because you decided it was so. And then it is reflected back to you in your reality as a result of who you are being. But also, manifestation, the act of your desires actually being revealed to you in your 3D reality, is a result of the manifested state that you are holding. And if we really want to go deep with this, there are all of your senses, all of your humanness, all of your 3D reality is literally imagined anyway. It is an imagined experience that consciousness is having. And it is using your thoughts, your emotions, your senses to make believe the fact that it is a separate entity, or to experience separation.